Alright, you bastards, here is another build. This is easy to use build, it works against everyone. It's based on Katana weapon and it really does a lot of damage. If you're higher level than me, obviously will do more damage and you will kill opponents more easily. But as it is, I'm having absolutely no trouble on Way of the Wise with this build. It's the most general build that it can be. It's good for everyone. It's good for farming, it's good for clearing stages fast, it's good for absolutely everything. So let's get to it. The one thing that you need is full Kaido set bonus for strong attack damage. For the second, actually for your primary weapon, you need a sword and get the best one that you have. Currently I have a ethereal one with high attack damage because we're going to use high stance attack. I also went with change to attack spirit, which you don't have to. You can go for whatever you want, change to attack heart or something like that, as long as it's a rating. Also, I went here with status ailment augmentation paralysis so that I paralyze my opponents more easily. You only need to paralyze them 2 times or 3 times to kill them completely on Way of the Wise. Everything recorded is on Way of the Wise, obviously. Next to the Kaido set, I would suggest that you get Hino and Makabuto, which increases close combat damage against a paralyzed enemy. And get attack on every single armor piece, which I did not do here for some reason, I don't know why. For accessories, go for something that has close combat attack, enemy paralyzed, so now I have about 85%, something like that, increased damage against enemy paralyzed. Yasakani's Magatama is a must as always, and this is how my item shortcut looks like. Slot Talisman is good against enemies that you can't paralyze. Paralytic Groundfire is a must. Weakness is a must. Extraction Talisman is really good. Carnage and Quick Change Scroll. Also, it's good to have some kind of a Spirit Stone that you can activate bonus from the Guardian Spirit that we are using in this instance. There is also one more ethereal set that gives you strong attack damage plus as its bonus. It's called, I think, Grace of Susanoo, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's hard to get, as is every ethereal set, but if you get it, you can increase your damage further significantly. These are my core stats. You don't have to do it like this. I went with a lot of spirit because I have changed to attack spirit A on my weapon, and heart is a base damage for any katana. As for the rest of the stats, you can actually switch, change to spirit to change to body. That way you will have more HP, you will be able to survive a lot more if you put all the stats into body. As for the rest, put enough that you can wear Kaido set, and also put enough for dexterity and magic so that your spells and your ninjutsu items have some kind of power behind them, so that the effects do not disappear too quickly. As for the Guardian Spirits, this is our primary one, Tengen Kujaku. It gives us a bonus for absorbed Amrita, increased attack in high stance, which we are using. It also gives you more elemental attack damage, and it also reduces yokai damage, which is cool. As for the second one, get strong attack damage. This is why we need Extraction Talisman and some Spirit Stones, because of the Tengen Kujaku. I also tested Enko and Ayakomori to test the damage, and the highest damage output was with Tengen Kujaku, or whatever the name is. So we are using extraction to further in the battle hit an enemy, then we absorb Amrita with it, which refills our Amrita Gauge bar, and then we also get attack buff every time we hit an opponent, which stacks with Carnage. As for the skills, these are the sword skills. Go for whatever you want, as long as you have the Mystic Art that increases the damage from behind the target. That's about it. You can also build this with Quick Draw, with the eye Quick Draw, but unfortunately it will do more damage, but it has less uses unless you kill your opponent immediately, which on Way of the Wise is really hard to do. As for the other weapon passives, go for Shadow Strike and Full Moon Kata, Fortitude Cornered Boar from X, and Touch Yards from Dual Swords. These are all that you need. And obviously the rest in melee mastery. As for Ninja and Omnio skill trees, go for Paralytic Groundfire and Quick Change from Ninja, and also you can go for Cloud Runner Dashing if you want to move faster, which I always recommend. From Omnio Magic Tree, the most important ones are Extraction, Slot, Weakness and Carnage. You can also go for Resistances if you have more points to spend but you don't know what to do with them. Versus Yokai Realm, damage reduction versus Yokai, versus Fire, versus Wind, versus Water, whatever. Same as you can go for Ninja versus Paralysis and versus Poison. Now let's get to fighting. The things you do are pretty simple. You start with Quick Change Scroll just in case. You put some Paralytic Groundfire traps, you put Extraction Talisman on yourself, then you use Spirit Stone to get that buff, that attack buff, then you use Carnage, and when the enemy spawns you use Weakness on him and try to guide him to the Paralysis trap. And then just go behind and from high stance do the attack, do the strong attack. And if you get a chance, you can also use your Guardian Spirit because he is very powerful, he gets the job done if you can't do it with your normal strong attack. When you're in the Guardian Spirit mode, you just hold triangle or constantly press triangle, depending on what move you want to do. That's it. Your Guardian Spirit will be constantly up with Spirit 99. You just need a couple of hits. Also, by hitting the opponent, you will constantly get Amrita because you have Extraction Talisman. That means that your Guardian Spirit will constantly be filling up while you're striking opponents, and also it means you'll constantly receive an attack buff. It's that bloody simple. You can see Lee Naomasa here on everything here is on Way of the Wise, as you can see from the buffs. Just don't grapple them from behind. It's best if you take a couple of steps back because the strong attack from high stance does have a long reach, so you don't need to stay too close. Don't let that aiming reticula become red, otherwise you will do a grapple attack. This is the last fight, the giant toad. The thing here is I did not pick up my Guardian Spirit when I died the first time when I tried this, so my damage at the beginning is much lower than it should be. I didn't have the buff, the attack buff from the Guardian Spirit, but it's still very decent damage nonetheless. You can also build a skill damage. You use Armor of the Exceptional full set and then you use a Yai Quick Draw move, where you hold R1 and hold circle button. But the problem with that move is that you need to be constantly behind the target and charge that move, which can be really difficult at times. So I would suggest staying with strong attack. It's much easier to use, but if you want you can play with skill damage as well. Or you can go for Kingo Armor and Ayakomori Guardian Spirit. That will do a lot of damage as well from the strong attack, as long as you keep everything else the same. And that's it. Thanks all, see you soon.